Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Why are humans like this? Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. So I want to talk about a video I saw recently on YouTube from the OWN network, Oprah's channel. So I love Iyanla Fix My Life. So an episode aired that had played years ago. So I guess the episode is from 2020. Luenell, she's a comedian, and I guess the OWN network finally put it on YouTube. And it was a good episode, but there was a scene that really pissed me off. I like Iyanla. Sometimes she says some questionable things, and it doesn't come from a complete place of empathy and healing. I just feel like some of the things she says, I don't think she really thinks it through. I think she thinks she's helping you, but then it comes off very insensitive. And some people are very raw in the way they, try to help you and heal, but that's not a good technique for everybody. I feel like you have to come from a place of empathy. You have to understand where the other person is coming from. How would that person feel? And not make it just about you. So basically, Luenell is having issues with her daughter. I'm hoping that by now, we're in 2026, that they're better now. But back then they had issues. So apparently Luenell, when she was traveling in her early days of being a comedian, she would leave her daughter behind, always packing and leaving. And her daughter expressed that she didn't like that. I'm not going to get into all of that, but there's a particular scene that Luenell mentioned. I'm going to go ahead and play it, and then I'm going to come back and let you know how I feel about it.
One of the reasons I do what I do is because I felt like people didn't hear me. Because back in my youth, when I was living in California, separated from my family, with my aunt and her husband, he was a very, very mean man and very verbally and physically abusive. I told my family this, but nobody came to save the day.
You made up that they didn't hear you. Why did you make that about you as opposed to about them?
What do you mean?
Luenell, exactly. Iyanla, what the fuck are you talking about?
Maybe they heard you and were powerless to do anything about it.
To what end does a mother protect their child?
Exactly, Luenell. I am so on Luenell's side so far. Like, come on, Iyanla.
Until there is no more power left, till there is no more fight left. Could have done wonders.
I remember I was 9 years old.
In the words of Iyanla Vanzant, not on my watch. Not on my watch. So she's about to trauma dump and make it about herself. Very selfish and not helpful at all. So Iyanla has her own trauma and her feelings are valid, but this is not the time or the place.
When my uncle raped me on the sofa in the basement. My aunt was playing bingo. I crawled upstairs and sat under the kitchen table. And when my aunt came home, I told her everything. And she marched my 9-year-old behind downstairs to my uncle and said, "Did you do this to her?" And he said, "No, she's lying." And she sent me upstairs, and nothing was ever said about it again. Took me a long time to realize it wasn't personal.
That's rhetoric.
It absolutely was not personal.
It absolutely is.
It absolutely was not
Why?
personal. Why? She didn't have the skills, the tools, or the capacity to do anything else.
To have a heart is to have the skill.
No,
to have the empathy is to have the skill.
You got vices covering your heart.
So again, I like Iyanla, but I understand why some people do not like her. Do you see what she just did, y'all? Do you see what she just did? She's deflecting. She's acting like Luenell didn't have like a justifiable trauma. Like she didn't really have issues when she was growing up. Iyanla did not make her feel safe. She did not acknowledge her pain. Like, you know what? Oh, that must have been so hard for you, what you've been through. She's making it about her. I know the episode is about her mending stuff with her daughter, but you have to acknowledge Luenell's pain. A lot of people, treat their children bad because of what they've been through. And yes, I'm not saying it justifies it. Trust me, because I don't justify the things that my mother did to me, and I will never justify what happened to me to justify how I treat my children. You have to do better, and I feel like Iyanla really did not like. I just don't understand why she thought that was okay. She told you somebody verbally and physically assaulted her as a child, and no one helped her, and you're talking about something they didn't have the tools, whatever. Okay, yes, a lot of generations been through a lot of stuff, and they didn't have the tools, but that's their job as an adult. At least acknowledge what Luenell is saying. You were hurt. That must have been so hard for you. I understand why you're so hard, or this is why you're so distant with your daughter. You didn't feel protected, and so you didn't know how to protect. And her Luenell actually has empathy, and she did her best in her own way. I don't agree with her traveling and not, you know what I'm saying, being close to her daughter. But Luenell made a good point that you need to have empathy. And I feel like in this moment, Iyanla was not showing a lot of empathy. She basically dismissed what Luenell was saying, and she made the whole situation about herself. And she's pointing it back at Luenell. Well, this is why you're like that, and your daughter's having these issues with you. It just became like, girl, I would have walked off. But some of her tactics are very messy. It's like it gives very much, she's trying to get ratings. And that's why you cannot just go to anybody to get help. You have to go to like a someone who really is a counselor. I believe that Iyanla is just more like a life coach, and she's educated, but she's not therapeutic. Her methods can be helpful for certain people. When it comes to trauma, I don't think she's educated enough. I don't think that she has the right skills and tools to help people, because she would have got probably cussed out from me in that moment, you know, and I would have gave her the ratings that she was looking for. But I'm with Luenell on this. Again, I hope her and her daughter are better now. Luenell is, wrong for, distancing herself from her daughter and traveling and not acknowledging her daughter's feel. Everything, if you guys watch that episode, you will see what her daughter was saying. I'm on the daughter's side. But Luenell also has a point. She's been through a lot, and I feel like Iyanla should have got Luenell through her childhood stuff so they can work her way up to the present time to help better mend the relationship with her daughter. That's how you get growth, accountability, acknowledgement, empathy. I can't move on if you're going to act like my feelings don't matter.